Fit 10 Nation, it is day 60 of the Fit 10 Challenge, and I want to let you all know that we are still running classes. We are running all of our classes, and there is virtually nobody coming to the gym. So if you're concerned with being around a lot of people, it's just not there. I do understand that, the idea of quarantining yourself. I'm certainly not opposed to this. Not sure if it's the right thing in the grand scheme of everything. Not even all the experts agree. But it seems like it is the wisest thing to do. Although not everybody's on board yet, not even the UK, apparently. So the UK is just going through life as normal, apparently. If you want to come to classes, there's hardly anybody there. I mean, literally, there is hardly any. The busiest classes are probably the Fit in 10, and we're getting anywhere from about, 7 to 10 people, which I guess is a fair amount. Our other classes, so if you want to come to, we're getting like 0 to 4. So, you're well spread out. But I understand you are working out, you are breathing a little bit heavier, sweating, etc. Okay, now if you can't do that, you can do the workouts online, because I sent you out an email yesterday regarding the fact that we were putting up a workout every day. So even if you don't have weights, you can still do these workouts at home. There is no excuse. So is it as effective as weights? Well, probably not. But I'm not going to say probably. It's not. But it's still effective, and it's still something. So do them, and they're still going to be really hard. All right. So we've got 10 days left in this challenge. It's not the time for excuses, for any kind of excuse. Corona, whatever, birthdays, I don't know, whatever excuse you have, it's not the time. All right, so get back on the horse and get to it. Okay, the road isn't always smooth. That doesn't mean you give up. All right, somebody had asked me a question. Well, I'll just read you what they wrote. I feel like I've plateaued in terms of fat loss this time. No noticeable changes over several weeks now. I've been doing 20-second intervals the whole challenge to increase the intensity, okay, and really focusing on hitting my macros with whole foods. Even so, I'm grateful for my health and the recent sunny weather. All right, so, you should be seeing change, especially with the changes that I'm making. So, if you are following everything, especially your macros, you should see change. You are a reflection of what you do. And if change is happening, there ought to be a change with your body. It's not magic. All right, so you may not feel like you're changing, or you may not think you're changing, but I would argue against that if you're following everything to a T. That is, if you are following everything to a T. And I know who this person is, and they probably are, because they've done very well in the past, and I know they're very dedicated. So be patient. Get your scan and see where you stand, okay? Just because you think you haven't gotten any leaner doesn't mean you haven't, all right? But if you are following everything, then you should see change, because I'm giving you change on a weekly basis. I'm giving you more change. So your body has to respond to that. It has to change. You are, again, a reflection of what you do. So if you're increasing your intensity and your energy intake is lowering, there has to be, the consequence for that. In this case, it's a good consequence, right? So that's all I'm going to say. All right, this whole thing is not magical. It's about consistency and then just following the right pattern. That's it. If you expect to be off and on and make progress, it ain't going to happen. It doesn't work like that. Okay, somebody wants to know what my opinion is on bulking. Well, for all of you, I'm never gonna recommend it to you. It might be something you want to do as a kid. I did this as a kid. In fact, I was so obsessed with doing it as a kid because I wanted my strength to go up and I wanted to be big. And I wasn't actually naturally a very big kid. I was stocky, but I wasn't tall. Still I am not tall. That will never change. It's okay, I've accepted it. But when I was a kid and I really wanted to get strong, I put on 100 pounds. I'm not kidding you when I say this. I put on 100 pounds. I never really had a growth spurt. I put on 100 pounds from the age of 13 to the age of 16. So over 3 years, I put on 100 pounds. I seriously had a little bit of reverse anorexia. And my whole point in this is it did serve well for me to really increase my strength. My bench press went from 120 pounds at the age, 150 pounds at the age of 13 to 370 pounds by the time I was 16. And that was due to overeating for sure. So it plays a role for sure. This is why when you see strongmen, like the world's strongest man, you're rarely going to see a very lean individual. You're going to see a giant man, okay, tall and just like 400 pounds or something, just huge, because the weight will help you. This is really the only time you want to bulk. Will help you to put on strength. Okay, now, just an FYI in case you're curious, there is a happy medium with body fat levels and being able to feel good and feel normal and put on strength. And so everybody sort of operates at an ideal body fat for this. In the case of myself, I'm usually around that 16-17%, which is what I'm about right now. That's where I operate really well and I feel good. In fact, I could probably be a little bit leaner and feel just as good. But once I get around that 13, 12, I really start to feel it, and it starts to take its toll. Some people, some guys can operate really well at 8, 9, 10% body fat. Ladies, for you, it's going to vary, but again, it's probably going to be somewhere in that 18 to 28% body fat in terms of feeling optimal. And I think that's really what you ought to look for, right? Is going for that good feeling of feeling your best, essentially. Okay, so bulking for athletes, for some athletes, yes. For strength, certainly for strength athletes, yes. Any other reason? Some bodybuilders do it, but again, we're talking about, I guess, competitive athletes here. I don't really see a point of getting fat or that after a certain point for putting on muscle. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. For strength, it works, but for bodybuilding, it's not going to work. Okay, and if you want to know why more about that, I can explain that in a future video, but I don't want to bore you. All right, message of the day. Breathe deep, relax. Remember, it will all be over soon. The good times and the bad. So, be present in the good and persist through the bad. Okay? Persist through the bad. Persist these next 10 days. Let's finish strong. And hopefully, this corona thing will clear itself out. I did hear today, by the way, that they are talking about taking people's plasma. These are from people who have overcome the coronavirus and then using that as an antidote to infected people. Or maybe just, infected and then maybe people who haven't even gotten yet. I guess it would work the same, because then you have that. I don't know if that works. I don't know. Certainly not. I don't have enough knowledge to say. Anyways, something interesting. We'll see what happens. Heard more about that Plaquenil, hydroxychloroquine, or it was a derivative of hydroxychloroquine. That's still out there. So, but then I heard another guy talk about how any remedy being developed soon is a fairy tale. So who knows? There's all kinds of opinions, and we just don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, guys, that's it. Day 60 in the books, 10 days to go. Submit and commit. Keep submitting and committing. Keep submitting your feedback. Okay? And positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself and give some gratitude, especially at this time, because it's a very depressing time. It is. It's really, really quite terrible. But we'll get through it. See you guys.